Good morning. Welcome to the Weather Desk on this Election Day, November 4th. We've got a great show lined up for you today. A lot of stuff going on internationally we're going to touch on. We're going to bring you up to speed on what's going on with Jamaica as they recover from Melissa. There's a lot. And I want to start off with our topics. I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller, broadcasting from the 13 News Now studios here in Southeast Virginia, serving Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach, the Outer Banks. But we don't just focus on what's happening here in our own backyard. We also look at some big stories around the country and around the globe, truly. So Virginia groups have headed down to Jamaica. We talked about Operation Blessing and Mercy Chefs, a couple of the groups down there. We've got task force members down there. We've got a special interview we're going to share with you, a little bit longer format than what you might typically find just in a regular news show, you know, where they cut it down to maybe a minute or a minute 30. This is going to be a little bit longer, about 7 minutes or so, where we have this discussion with what they're doing and what they're really seeing down there in Jamaica. So I think you'll enjoy that kind of deeper dive or that more impactful conversation about what's happening down in Jamaica. Then we're going to talk about Typhoon Tino and how it has impacted the Philippines. I'll show you where that is and where it's headed next over there in the Western Pacific and now passing the Philippines. We also have some more information with that Afghanistan earthquake. Northern Afghanistan hit yesterday early in the day with a powerful earthquake, 6.3 magnitude. There were some fatalities. We've got some more information out of Afghanistan. Pakistan is in smog crisis with the town of Lahore specifically, but we'll talk about the region of Pakistan dealing with that and some steps that they're taking to try to combat the smog that's in the atmosphere. It's a little different from what we've really talked about before here in the U.S. We'll let you know if it's working or not and talk a little bit about what they're doing. Then we have the Election Day forecast, and not just for Hampton Roads. We will take a detailed look at what's happening across our immediate region. In general, it's pretty nice, but we'll give you some temperatures to focus on. But not just here. We're going to take a look across the country. So a lot of elections going on from coast to coast. Of course, huge election here in Virginia with the governor and many different elections that will be made today. And then up in New Jersey, New York City, out west, California, various cities across the country. We've got you covered. We'll also have the national outlook and the week ahead. So plenty to discuss with you here on today's edition of the Weather Desk. Right now, though, we're going to turn our attention back to the Caribbean and specifically Jamaica. You know, it's been 1 week. Today marks 1 week since Hurricane Melissa tore through Jamaica and moved across Cuba after that, up through the Bahamas. The system made landfall as a Category 5 storm last Tuesday with that lowest pressure, 892 millibars, as it cut up through southwest portions of Jamaica, cut over the western and central portions, and then moved on to Cuba. It was devastating. As a matter of fact, the most powerful hurricane at landfall in record in the Atlantic Basin. Right now, members of Virginia Task Force 1 from Fairfax County are on the ground helping people with search and recovery efforts. They're based in Kingston, and they've been working their way across central and now into western parts of Jamaica. Now, Jamaican officials say at least 32 people were killed during the storm. That number is expected to keep climbing, and we are still learning the extent of the damage on the island. The Mercy Chefs from Portsmouth are also helping in Jamaica. For the past few days, volunteers have been serving hot meals to survivors and first responders in Black River, which was one of the areas absolutely devastated, one of the hardest hit areas on the island. Operation Blessing, which is based out of Virginia Beach, has also sent a disaster response team to Jamaica. They're opening emergency kitchens, deploying medical teams, and they're handing out emergency supplies. Jeremiah Beatty spoke with members of that team about what they're seeing on the island so far.
Last week, you all were preparing bags, staging in Miami to get down to Jamaica. Kind of walk me through how things been on the ground in Jamaica so far.
It's been very intense. I mean, we landed. I'm not tracking count of the dates, by the way. It's kind of blurry right now. But we have been here for already 3 days in ground zero. Montego Bay is one of the most affected areas where the eye of the hurricane passed through. So we see surrounding us is a population of 300 100,000 people highly affected. You walk 5 minutes that way or this way, and you find communities that are totally devastated. So we're setting up right here. We set up already. This is our base of operations with a local church. It's a hub where we're setting up food distribution. We make hot meals here. Water, we're setting up a water filtration unit, processing water, packing it, delivering to people. We have a medical attention, a small first care unit here, taking care of people when they come. We set up a corridor where people from the community can come and sit and receive medical attention at the same time. So it's a mix of things. We are trying to prioritize, food and water, which is very critical and super needed. I encounter people that haven't eaten 2, 3, so they're getting desperate. And we're trying to avoid that desperation because that can turn into something really bad. So as we speak, our teams are on the ground, prepping meals, distributing them, filtering water, prepping the medicine, and the teams of medical doctors and nurses to go to places and also take care of the people coming here. So it's a mix of everything. It's like the day goes like so fast. The day we are super excited to be here and be able to help the people that is in need. That's the heart behind it, Operation Blessing. And we just want to be useful, for the people that is desperate in this situation.
Yeah, and I think you've captured that very well. I know before we talked about your experience and you being to several other places around the world. How does what you're seeing in Jamaica compare to maybe, other world events that you've been there present to help? Is it worse? How would you compare if you can?
I've been in disasters for 15 years with Operation Blessing all over the world, from hurricanes to earthquakes to tsunamis to war in the Middle East. Every single disaster, basically, major ones and minor ones in the U.S. with North Carolina, fires in California. And it's really difficult to compare. Every disaster is different. But I haven't found so much devastation since probably Dorian in the Bahamas. Very similar, all gone. You go to communities 20, 30 miles, 20 minutes from here, and you start seeing nothing left. The power lines, everything is cut out. The roofs are gone. There's some structures up still. But I said, like, yesterday I was in a community, I would say 80% of the houses are gone. Livelihood is gone. Agriculture is gone. As I said, power is gone. There is no water. So the need is so huge. It's so huge. And that's what we're worried about it, that we need to go fast and hard so we can deliver this to the people before it gets really bad. So working in conjunction with other nonprofits, with the church. For us, the church is the key because they know the ground. They're going to be here when we leave. So we want to strengthen them up so they can be the ones reaching out to the community right now and in the future. So we're just empower them.
Diego, what challenges can you tell me as far as your team and the work you all are doing? What's the biggest challenge for you all right now?
The biggest challenge that we're having right now is just to escalate and mass produce what we're doing right now. We started with a couple hundred, then we hit 1,000 and something meals yesterday. We're trying to purify more and more water. So it's just taking it and escalating our production of food, production of water, our medical teams. We're mapping with another nonprofit the area where it's needed to deliver medicine and a medical attention. So it's just communication is key, and that's a challenge because everything is disrupted. Having security, thanks to God, the local government is sending us local police and enforcement to protect us because things can get really heat up really quick. When people is desperate, after 5 days of no food, no water, people get very desperate.
The silver lining of it all, what gives you hope as you're on the ground working, helping the community in Jamaica?
What I can hope is that more people can get involved in this. There is no need sometimes to just send money. A prayer is enough. A call to someone that you know that is Jamaican maybe, or was in the island. If you can donate to Operation Blessing, take care of that money, help people here. There's multiple ways to help always. And, you know, not all the time money is needed. Just being there, knowing that, and letting the people know that you care, that you can pray for them, write a letter, do some volunteer with organizations. There is multiple ways to give your time, effort, prayer, money. So be present, be for them in this horrific time. They're calling it the storm, the hurricane of the century. So it is really bad.
How much longer do you guys think you'll be out there? Do you have a timeline?
I'm thinking about months. The mission is going to be for months. I'm not sure how many months, but we're just starting. We're just starting, and it's going to take long.
Diego, what's the plan? Do you plan on hopscotching? I know before you all were in Kingston. You're in Montego Bay. Are you guys going anywhere else while out there?
Yeah, we do daily missions to the communities affected around it. You don't need to go far to find need. So we are trying to map, the area. And a lot of people, other nonprofits are focusing in the south, and we're trying to focus here in Montego Bay metropolitan area. We have 300,000 people in their need. So that's like right here. I think we're going to focus for now. If we can escalate this, we are going to help us match people as we can.
What a story. And again, I hope you enjoyed that longer format discussion with what's actually happening. Now, they're located again near Montego Bay. And when the storm came in, Black River was basically right in the crosshairs. This area right in here hit directly, and then it continued to move up this way and then accelerating back over to Cuba. So this whole western half of Jamaica hit especially hard. The entire area was dealing with flooding, rain, and you saw some of the destruction there. It's amazing. But to hear Operation Blessing saying this is not a days or weeks long mission, but months long, this recovery is going to be a long, long time coming. So there are ways you can get involved. Back here in Hampton Roads, the United Caribbean Relief Initiative is sending supplies to Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa. The initiative is accepting items such as non-perishable foods, hygiene essentials, first aid supplies, batteries, flashlights, baby formula, and more. In Virginia Beach, items can be dropped off at Phoenix Lounge from 6 until 10 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. Sunset Caribbean Grill is accepting donations from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. today through Saturday. And Quality Fades Barbershop is taking items from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. through Saturday. In Newport News, Safe Haven is accepting donations from, through Friday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. Items will be accepted until November 16th. Now, we're going to take our attention from right here in Jamaica and talk more about the rest of the basin. Things are quiet in the Gulf. You can see for the eastern seaboard, very quiet. Across the main development region, basically clear as a bell. A little bit of cloud cover here in the western Caribbean, but nothing that's showing any signs of development. So right now, Hurricane Center says, hey, we're good. We don't expect any tropical activity within the next 7 days. I will mention from the 12th of 18th of November here, there is just a low risk of possible development out there. So this is way far out. There's nothing going on. It's just that this environment may be a little more favorable or conducive to potential development. We're getting very late in the season now. As you know, the hurricane season ends November 30th here in the Atlantic, but we do still watch these areas, and this is one area that we'll monitor through the middle of November. We'll keep you updated. All right, that's what's happening in the Atlantic as we turn our attention over to the Eastern Pacific. I'm also Happy to tell you nothing expected to develop over here, so that is all good. Now we're going to take a look over here at the Philippines, and we have a pretty fast-moving typhoon. This is Typhoon Tino, and it really did a number on the Philippines. Right now, those maximum winds, 80 miles per hour, and it is moving off to the west. So we'll continue to watch that. But overnight, this fast-moving typhoon placed parts of the Philippines underwater. Torrential rain from Typhoon Kalmeji, all right, and again, that's known locally there as Typhoon Tino. So you might find information on this either under Typhoon Kalmeji or Typhoon Tino. And this system that I just showed you on the satellite images, it caused major flooding in the central part of the country. Winds of 115 miles per hour also knocked out power to thousands. Again, we are watching this situation. We've gotten word so far at least one person has died. Typhoon Tino, or Kalmeji, is the 20th cyclone to batter the Philippines this year. Obviously, a very active season for them. And right now, again, the wind's down to 80 miles per hour. But look at the damage there in the Philippines. All right, we're going to turn our attention back to areas across northern Afghanistan. And this area specifically we're going to focus on. I'll just mention there was another earthquake there near Dubai, but this one much weaker within the last 12 hours. It was 4.3. This one up here yesterday, 6.3, and that was the big one. And we have unfortunate news in that the death toll is rising once again after that earthquake shook the northern part of the country. The 6.3 magnitude quake hit early Monday morning, destroying 800 homes in one village alone. So far, at least 20 people have died and more than 600 are hurt. This is now the second major earthquake to hit Afghanistan this year. In August, more than 2,000 people died after a 4 magnitude earthquake hit the eastern part of the country. All right, we're going to turn our attention from Afghanistan to just south of Afghanistan. And as we look down here, it's going to be in the northwest part of the country around Lahore. All right, take a look at the smog here in Pakistan in Lahore. The city is considered one of the most heavily polluted in the world. And over the past month, the city has been planting hundreds of trees and deploying more than a dozen truck-mounted anti-smog guns. Now, these devices spray fine mists of water to help settle the dust and airborne particles. Pakistan says the smog is due to vehicle emissions, industrial smoke, construction dust, and the burning of crop residue by farmers. You can see that is an ongoing issue there, and I don't know how effective those smog guns have been, but they're throwing some mist and kind of light water, almost like vapor, up into the air, trying to bring down some of that smog. All right, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to have the Election Day outlook for the U.S., and we're going to have more details on the week ahead. Stay tuned. Well, it is election day, and we've got the forecast covered. First of all, for Hampton Roads, look at how easy this is. Lots and lots of sunshine. Temperatures this morning, pretty cool for folks getting out really just at the opening of the polls early this morning. But as we go through the afternoon, low 60s near the coast, will be in the mid 60s inland. Beautiful across Hampton Roads in southeast Virginia. Want to show you some temperatures across the Commonwealth. 52 in Roanoke and Danville. You can see Charlottesville, 55 in D.C. So temperatures not too bad right now. 54 at the Capitol in Richmond, and Emporia also at 54. As we go through the afternoon, these temperatures are going to warm up into the mid 60s for many areas. Richmond, Charlottesville, D.C., out through Roanoke. Really looking good, though. A lot of sunshine across the region. Just a few high-level clouds from time to time. So voting is excellent across the Commonwealth, and I can tell you, for folks getting out to New Jersey, another big gubernatorial race going on there. We've got the mayoral race for New York City and up into Minneapolis. They've got one. Some different measures on the ballots across the central U.S., down in Texas, and then out in California as well. Some wet weather across northern California right now. We've been tracking some unsettled weather there, back across southern parts of Idaho, up into Montana. But so much of the country actually in really good shape as far as our election day weather goes. Now, as we get into the afternoon, I mentioned Norfolk going to be in the low 60s, mid 60s inland. Across Florida, temperatures near 80. It's going to warm into the upper 70s. And keep in mind, these are all East Coast times. So 2:30 here on the East Coast, 1:30 here. You head back here, it's 12:30, and late morning back along the West Coast. You'll notice as we get into the afternoon, though, temperatures will be warming across the Southwest. And again, not too bad really for most of the country in terms of the forecast for today. Let's get into it. Along the East Coast here, a little breezy up in Boston, New York City, 59 in sunshine, 70 in Atlanta, 74 for New Orleans. Temperatures upper 70s for Dallas and Houston. Little Rock looking good at 74, 70 in St. Louis. Pleasant up in Minneapolis, sunshine and 60. We do have this rain across northern California into southern portions of Oregon. Little unsettled for Idaho, and some snow in the higher elevations of Wyoming and up into the Rockies there in Montana. We'll start looking for some video to share with you here on the weather desk from some of the western U.S. snows. Love it when we start seeing it over the mountains. It's a really exciting time. All right, our temperatures here locally today will warm up in the lower 60s near the coast, mid 60s inland. We are looking at mostly sunny skies. I mean, it's going to be a gorgeous afternoon. Tonight looks really good as well. Chilly again tomorrow morning. As we take it through midday on Wednesday, mid 60s. Breezy southwest winds, 10 to 20 miles per hour. A few high thin clouds during the afternoon, but generally sunny for most of the day on Wednesday. Thursday looks really good as well, but you'll note the wind shifting. We do have a weak front passing through overnight Wednesday night into early Thursday, and that's going to cool our temperatures a bit on Thursday. Right now, the sun is abundant. This is checking in with the Thompson Creek Window Company Sky View here, and you can notice some of the trees changing colors a bit. 57 winds are northwest at 9 miles per hour. We do have small craft advisories up for the bay and the ocean until 1 o'clock this afternoon. So little wavy out there with those seas running 5 to 6 feet occasionally, a little higher than that. The waves 3 to 4 feet on the Chesapeake Bay. As we take a look at the rip current threat, it is high. It continues to be high right along the coast. So we'll continue to watch that. Same places we had the high threat of rip currents yesterday down through the Oregon Inlet. All right, wanted to give you another look here at the colors across the Hampton Roads area. Many areas colors still low, but here at Norfolk Botanical Garden with the Thompson Creek Window Company Sky View, you're seeing some pops of color here and there, and it really is coming in pretty nicely. Take a look at the foliage map for Virginia. You can see the high color back across the Piedmont, back towards the mountains. You get past peak at the highest elevations. Some of the recent winds starting to bring down some of that foliage. We've got moderate color across central and eastern portions of the Commonwealth. And then as you get closer to the coast, just low color. But as I just showed you with those two sky views, we are getting more and more pops of color here. And it's really going to come in this week and through the upcoming weekend. All right, let's get into the forecast specifically. Highs today, low 60s in Norfolk, mid 60s, Chesapeake to Suffolk and Smithfield, low to mid 60s around Virginia Beach. Plenty of sunshine, Eastern Shore, low 60s there, mid 60s for the peninsula around Gloucester, Matthews at 63. Down in Elizabeth City, 65, 66 in Edenton, low 60s at the Outer Banks. Overnight tonight, the low near 45. It is going to be a little cooler inland. Skies clear. Tomorrow, 68, breezy and warmer. We will see those southwest winds about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's a look at the rest of the 7-day forecast. As I mentioned, it's going to be a little cooler on Thursday, back to 61 for a high, and then another push of warmer air. Friday looks good. Slight risk of a few stray showers on Saturday. Don't think we'll see much. Isolated showers also possible on Sunday. I think a better chance Sunday afternoon. And then another front comes through, knocking us back mid-50s on Monday. And I think low 50s to mid 50s on Tuesday. So we do get that cooler push of air into early next week. I want to remind you, you can always get the latest news, traffic, and weather on the go when you scan and download the 13 News Now mobile app. What a great resource to take with you. You don't have to worry about the radar today, but it's always available at your fingertips. And anytime we do have showers, not just here, but there's access to radars all across the region and around the country. Just great information available there through the 13 News Now app. And again, local traffic and news updates as well with you on the go. So hopefully you'll take some time and download that app. Want to thank you for finding us here on 13 News Now Plus. And if you're watching on YouTube, we're glad you found us here as well. I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller. I look forward to seeing you next time from the Weather Desk.